Hello. We meet again. What if I told you I have the most priceless thing in my possession? Would you believe me? Hands up if you would believe me. Well, I'm going to prove to you that I've got something really priceless. Give me 1 second. Let me just call my security detail to bring it around for me. Right, can you just send in Security Sam with my priceless jewels, please? Thank you. Finally. Mr. Samir, I'm so happy you've made it this quickly. I am just desperate to share with my family and friends this priceless jewel that I have. Can I look now?
Pause. Always at your service, Mom.
I know you are. Right, so can I see it now?
Just a moment. Just as soon as I do all security protocols.
Every single time I ask for these jewels, I have to go through all of these checks. You know it's me. Can I just look at my jewels?
Mom, I get paid for a service, and that's what I'm doing. So please, for your password.
My voice is my password. Can I see it now?
Wait. Can I check your irises, please?
Happy?
No. Finally, your fingerprint, Mom. And now that all security protocols are complete, you can see the jewels.
Yes, finally, thank you.
Whoa. Calm.
Oh, you know what? I forgot that I had these. Oh, look at that. I haven't seen them in time. Let me see, what else do I have? Oh, this one is my favorite. Right, how about I give these back to you and I hang on to this one for the day. Can I just...
Have you lost your mind? You want to take these priceless jewels out today with no security?
Well, yeah.
Don't you know this is not an ordinary treasure? It is priceless and should be protected at all costs.
How about for 1 hour without you just hovering?
Absolutely not. Now that you've seen them, I'm locking them up. They are too precious to knock about. I need to secure them now. People are starting to notice them. Look at all those people watching them, ready to snatch them. Gabriel, check the perimeter. Agent D, the bird is in the cage. I repeat, the bird is in the cage. I'm checking the perimeter. It is safe. Send the chopper.
As the ad says, what a load of malarkey. Okay. All over the globe, many people possess amazing treasures, heirlooms, artifacts, priceless pieces of art worth more money than we could even begin to fathom. And I Googled some of the most priceless things naturally in this world, and I came up with the crown jewels of the UK, the Mona Lisa, the Dead Sea Scroll, the Hope Diamond, the Declaration of Independence, which has historical value, Antarctica. rare living species, and the internet's original source code. That is technologically priceless. There are also some cultural and heritage sites and human knowledge that's considered priceless today. What about the Fabergé eggs? Hands up if you've ever held one. I didn't think so. We all know about the Fabergé eggs, yes? Even if you've never held one, you probably watched a movie where they feature somebody's always trying to steal it. Lots of security around these eggs because they are priceless. Well, I read about a Fabergé egg that was sold in London in December 2025, just gone, and it is considered the jewelry house's greatest creations. It is a crystal egg laced with platinum snowflakes, encrusted with thousands of tiny rose diamonds, and it's sold, can you guess what it was sold for in December? 30 million US dollars, which equivalates to 23 million pounds. Can you imagine? 23 million pounds for an egg, a priceless egg. There were only 69 of them actually created, and there's only 57 remaining of these eggs. And I always thought of those eggs as being really far out of our reach, like not something that we knock about, until I stopped in the train station in April, on the 10th of April, I believe. And I picked up this Metro newspaper. I'm not a fan of Metro News, really, because sometimes you got to check if it's really true, some of these newspapers. And the headline said, "Bag swiper sparks £2 million egg hunt." So, of course, I started to read the story because I was already giving some thoughts to priceless stuff. And it says, a thief preying on drinkers at a pub stole a handbag containing a £2 million Fabergé egg in London. And the worst bit, he sold it for drugs because he had no idea what it valued. But that's still not the worst bit. The lady who had this in her possession went to this pub, put it between her legs on the ground, and was just socializing with friends. Something as priceless as that in a £1,500 Givenchy bag, all of that just on the ground while she had a drink. I mean, I don't know, I've never really held anything that priceless, but it wouldn't be on the ground, and it definitely would not be out of sight at all times, so that some random body could just slide it away. The CCTV showed him just sliding it from between her foot on the ground and taking it off to get drugs. They've not located this egg yet, by the way, so if anybody wants a treasure hunt, it's out there somewhere. And some of us sitting right here might even be in possession of some really valuable things at home. I'm not going to ask you to show hands because I don't want you to be targets. I don't want people to start showing up at your home. And it might be a ring, it might be something that was passed down from a grandparent, or maybe you've heard that it is precious, or you've read about it and it looks similar to a real thing. Hands up if you own something priceless. I said I wouldn't ask, but I'm changing my mind. Yeah? Right. For some of us, it's not a thing. For some of us, it might be somebody. See, I love my children. And anybody who knows me knows I get very paranoid when they're out of my sight. So I track them. They hate it. So I've got an amazing app. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I'm not advertising. But I have an app on my phone that allows me to zoom into their exact location. And they are annoyed at me because it shows me if they're running, and I will call, "Why are you running? Are you being chased?" Because I see the little feet on the app starting to move too quickly. So I know they're not walking, and they'll say, we're getting the train, like give us a break and all of that. And then for the little one, that one, well, he doesn't have a phone that I can track him on this app. So whenever he's going away with somebody that I don't particularly know very well, got a little air tag in his bag, and he's asked me, what's the point? They've all asked me what is the point of me constantly checking on them, giving them really noisy key rings, rape alarms. Trust me, the whole works I do. And I say, I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about the devil out there in others, because out there is a terrible world. See, today I'm going to be talking about watching over what matters most. That was the egg mentioned there, and you might recognize some of those famous pieces of artwork. But I want to draw your attention to something else. That nomination charm was given to me by my children maybe 2 or 3 Mother's Days ago. Not very priceless, nothing close to the Fabergé egg, so don't try to hold me up for it, trust me. But it is priceless to me because of what it represents. So what they did was, that's my mom, my late mom, for those of you who recognize her. They got a specialist engraver to capture the essence of her signature as she used to sign it on that bracelet. And because of that, to me, that is worth more than any other jewels that I have that I've purchased that might cost more than that, because of what it represents. That bit of rock there looks useless, but one of my colleagues has it in a beautiful frame, and I asked where it was from and what's all the malarkey about this piece of rock. And he said, well, actually, it was taken from Pompeii in Italy after the volcano, and before it was illegal to remove the rock. So he, he happens to have something from Pompeii, and to him it is priceless. Do you know that you also have something that is really, really priceless? What do you treasure today? What is it that you own that would upset you terribly if you lost it, if it got snatched or stolen or destroyed? Well, we've got something way more precious than anything that I could show you or quote the price. We've been given the most beautiful treasure ever, which is salvation. Isn't that a wonderful thought? More expensive than a rock from Pompeii, a charm, or the Fabergé eggs that are selling for ridiculous amounts of money. This priceless, beautiful treasure is ours, given freely. Here, have it. So are we watching over it then? Are we protecting it like you would protect an egg, a Fabergé egg, or your children, or a husband, or whatever property you have? You put up CCTVs. What about this treasure? What about this salvation treasure? Are we putting things in place to make sure that it stays safe at all times and it's not snatched or destroyed or dulled? St. Matthew 6, verse 19 to 21 says, "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." The greatest treasure, I'm here to tell you, is salvation. It is not a gift for a moment, but something that should be guarded at all times, something that should be valued and protected, because it was bought with such a high price. Not physical money, but with the blood of Yeshua. And that makes it too priceless to, as Samir said, to knock about. 1 Peter 1, verse 18 to 19 says, "You were not redeemed with corruptible things like silver and gold, but with the precious blood of Yeshua, the life-giving blood. It wasn't earned by us. We did not work for this treasure. It wasn't passed down from a nan or heritage or status. This treasure was given as a result of grace, and that alone is enough for us to do everything that we can to hold it dear." So I'm going to talk about threats to our treasure, because just as how thieves naturally try to steal something of value, This treasure is no different. The fact that we're in possession of it makes us easy targets. We're like easy pickings for the devil. Every second of every day, he's on us. So, first thing I want to talk about is sin. Sin is the most common threat to our treasure. That is what Satan uses to rob us of our spiritual wealth. I found something that says sin dulls our spiritual sensitivity, and we can become very easily desensitized to horrible things because of sin. See, I buy a special polishing cloth with foam. Yeah, they can sell me anything, so they convinced me to buy this piece of cloth that makes my nomination charm bracelets shine. And I've hardly used it, but when I do, it's really sparkly. Didn't need to buy it, honestly, but sometimes I use a little toothbrush on some of my rings, and what I notice, I never actually see the dirt on my rings until that toothbrush starts to get into those unseen crevices. And I start to think that is just how sin hides up amongst those beautiful stones. You never actually really see it unless you're really barefaced. But that's the sin that is the trouble. That's the one that's going to dull your spiritual life. The second one is worldliness. This shifts our priorities because sanctification and holiness keeps our treasure in good condition. So I asked myself, what is important to me? Living in a world without any care in the world, or actually being intentional in watching over what matters to me, which is this treasure. We have to try, as hard as it is, to separate ourselves from the dirt and the grime and the immorality that is around. And I sometimes tell myself I'm so happy I'm not very young in this world, because it is difficult to exist in this world without being bombarded by terrible, terrible things. Immorality, uncleanness, twisted morals, things that mask the truth. Depravity is rife in this country. All of this, we're bombarded by it. We can't escape it. You can be innocently reading something and suddenly this random pop-up, like, what on earth? You can't escape it. And so we have to make sure we're on the lookout. When it pops up, you say, gosh, this worldliness popping up now, let's get rid of this real quickly. Let's block all spam or find a way to remove it, because it's there to rob us of our treasure. The next thing is neglect. Now, neglect in any form is bad. I work in a school, and if we think a student is experiencing neglect, we're on it, because it's going to make them vulnerable. They won't be able to succeed properly. And it's the same with our spiritual lives. If there is neglect in that life, then we're not able to withstand all the things that the devil begins to throw at us. Lack of prayer and the word weakens our defenses. And if our defense is weakened, then our treasure becomes vulnerable. If someone gets the combination to your safe, or if somebody finds out where you keep your stocks and bonds and it's not locked up, I guarantee they're moving with it. If it is your face that they've compromised, or your iris or your fingerprint, like put a little sticky thing on something and you touch a coffee cup and they want to get into it. I watch a lot of movies, sorry. But I see them hacking people left, right, and center. All types of security people have found a way to breach these security. And it's the same thing with us. If we leave our lives compromised, then we're going to start losing our treasure. There is something called a multi-factor authenticator. Annoying is what I thought when it just came on scene, because I cannot be bothered if I just want to open something to be sent a code, for me to open my email, to enter this 6-digit code, and then come back, and it is just long. It's a hassle. But then I realize that hackers are getting more creative. So now I appreciate a multi-factor authentication. If I open up my work Chromebook and I've left my phone in my office, I better know I'm not getting into the workspace until I go get that 6-digit code on my phone to enter into my workspace. we also need a multi-factor protection for our lives. Prayer and the word, two together, is like putting up an extra layer of defense in protecting this treasure. And if you are able to add fasting, I'm working on that. If you're able to add in fasting, I'm not very good at fasting, as another layer, then the hacker, the enemy, he has a pretty hard time getting through those three layers. Last one I'm going to talk about on this slide is false doctrines and teachings. And it is truly worrying and sad to sometimes hear the lies that are being shared as truth. Confusion is rife in the world, so much so that people now don't even believe the truth when you tell them the truth. They are wary of you. They'll come in and they'll listen and they'll go, not too sure, because they are so bombarded with lies that they can't even see when it's the truth. There's also evidence of people who once taught and held on to this truth and learned it and loved it, turning away and suddenly starting to believe lies, starting to break away and changing the word to suit them. It's all false doctrines and teaching, and all of that is robbing us of that spiritual treasure that we have. We've got to guard this treasure, because if the devil cannot get it one way, if he can't get it with sin or worldliness, he might get it through neglect. And if he can't get it through neglect, then he's going to get it through false doctrines. See, if a thief plans to rob a house and he gets his balaclava and a crowbar and he says, I'm going to pick that house and I'm going to enter through the back door. Nobody will see me coming. I'm going to be very sneaky. And he goes over that wall and he notices a big front window open. He doesn't just say, I wanted to go through that back door. Why is this window open? These people must have lost their mind. I am definitely going to struggle to get that steel door at the back open, even though this window is wide open. Does he say that? He says, whoop-de-doo. No need for this crowbar. Might not even need a balaclava. If the window is open, they've probably gone out and forgotten everything. And he's going to go the easy way. He's looking for the easy way. Doesn't matter what option we give him. Once he sees unguarded treasure at any point, he's going to take that entrance and he's going to steal it. That's what the enemy of our soul does. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23 warns us, by any means necessary, we should, above all else, guard your heart. For everything you do flows from it. An unguarded heart leaves your treasure in the open, and slowly but surely, that devil is going to remove it. So let's talk about our multi-factor protection then. How do we protect the treasure that has been graciously given to us? Number one, stay rooted in the word. Scripture says, I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. That word is like a steel armored door, high quality steel with internal reinforcements, multi-locking points, heavy duty hinges, providing resilience and barriers against spiritual attacks. Without the word, we're in danger. Without the word, we're like a bank vault full of treasure without a door. We have to live in the word. We've got to study the truth and hide it so that we don't start to believe lies. We've got to put it deep, because the lies come dressed up like truth. You've got to look really carefully to see that it is just a little bit not quite what the word says. We've got to live in the word as part of our protection. Number two, have an active prayer life. This is not optional. You see, for some apps, you can bypass the multi-security steps. WhatsApp doesn't really care if your face matches or if you get a 6-digit code. But if you got Trading 212, or if you go into HSBC or any other banking or any important app, You have to go through this. They don't give you a choice because they don't want you coming to say, oh, somebody has hacked and got my money. So they're doing everything to protect the money for us. So we too have to do what we have to do to protect our treasure. For this treasure of salvation, an active prayer life is key to its survival. The scripture says, watch and pray, lest you enter into temptation. Number 3, walk in obedience. You don't prove you have salvation by knowing the Bible back and front. I don't know it very well. But it's by my deeds that people will know if I am living this treasure, if I still have it at work. By our fruits we shall be known. When we walk in obedience, we prove that our treasures live on, that we still have salvation at work in us. Simply put, do what the word commands us to do. Number 4, stay connected with other believers. Ecclesiastes 4, verse 12 reminds us that a threefold cord is not easily broken. One strand of thread, easily broken. When you begin to put 2, 3, 4 together, it becomes harder to break. Same with us. When we fellowship with each other, we strengthen each other when we get weary. Don't isolate yourself when you're upset or when there's a disagreement. You leave yourself vulnerable for threat. If somebody upsets you, still come. Isolation weakens your faith and it puts your treasure at risk. But fellowship strengthens you on this walk, and in time you will find a way to move past that conflict and disagreement, but don't leave yourself vulnerable to the devil. And number 5, don't trade it out for temporary gains. Many people lose their treasure over time. They don't just get up one day and say, yeah, done, I don't want this anymore. Little by little, something is happening. It's not sudden. See, Esau traded his birthright for soup. Come on now, Esau, soup? Maybe oxtail. Judas traded his eternity for silver. You know what? Everybody knows I like to buy. So sometimes when I want to purchase something, my husband would say, there is something called delayed gratification. He uses that term with me all the time. When I'm busy planning a holiday or planning to get something that I want, not need, he will say delayed gratification. What he's saying is, stop spending your money on temporary things that lose their value immediately and save it up for something. Let's then do a trip 2 years' time that is worthwhile. You can spend longer and make more memories. Something more valuable, something more permanent. Delayed gratification. So I'm going to use that on you today. Let's not just get the temporary treasure now. Living out here and enjoying the successes of life is all good, but that gratification will not really mean much in the long run. The gratification that we look for in the future when Yeshua returns for this world, nothing that we can get now can compare to what we will receive then. We've got to lay up for real treasures, something meaningful, something lasting, not a feel-good moment now. St. Mark chapter 8, verse 36 says, ask the question rather, what profit is there if one gains the whole world and loses his soul? What would be the point of enjoying all the successes now? Wealth, luxury cars, joy, achievements, all of that pales in comparison to the end because, one, you're going to die and leave it. They're probably going to fight over it or the bank's going to take it. That's not real treasure. We want something permanent, something lasting, something when all this is done, you've got something to look forward to. I don't know if there's anyone here now who's never had the treasure that I'm speaking of, but if you are, I'm taking a moment just to talk to you now. I'm here to tell you that you matter today, and this treasure can be yours. You can receive it. It's not limitless. It is limitless. There isn't a limit to the number of people who can access this treasure. To as many of you that are willing and able to receive. All you need to do is ask. All you need to do is invite the Savior into your heart and give him a try. Maybe you've tried lots that haven't worked. How about trying this and see if this works? It is not a walk without problems. Everybody here, can I get a hallelujah? Lots of problems. Lots of problems on this walk. So we're not here to say it's going to be easy. It's not going to be without pain. It's going to be with sorrow, because we are humans and we live in a world where death comes and pain comes and sickness comes. But what I can tell you about this walk is that it is a walk where you're never alone. It's a walk that you've got somebody, even when you don't know, praying for you. Somebody standing in the gap for you when you can't even get down on your knees. So if there's anyone sitting here listening to me, this is your opportunity to try him, to accept this treasure, to see if your life can become one of purpose and one of hope. I'm going to wrap up. Saints of Yahweh, let us protect this wonderful treasure we have. Let us live as a people with a glorious hope. Let us remember that nothing you can possess in this world, not family, not crypto, bonds, stocks, cash, jewelry, houses, land, luxury cars, successes, nothing is worth more than your salvation. Not a single thing. Hold fast to this treasure. Protect it. Keep it secure and in good condition. Keep its shine and its luster. Guard it from the grubby hands of the adversary, because he wants nothing more than to destroy this amazing treasure that he sees us with. He wants to steal it and mess it up and make it filthy. We've got to be intentional in looking after this treasure. And we have to, because it matters. It's one of a kind. People think the eggs are one of a kind, and the crown jewels and the Mona Lisa and Vincent van Gogh's painting. This is what is one of a kind. Let us just remember to watch over what matters most. Thank you.